Did y'all know they over in Mexico tearing white people's asses up right now?
Hey guys, how are you all doing? It's Agara Cindy and I'm back again with another video. I trust you guys are having a beautiful time today. Thank you so much for clicking to watch this video. So Mexicans are fighting back. They are rioting against the Americans that are living in their country. I don't know if you have heard about this because it is trending on TikTok. Basically, there's a protest going on in Mexico over gentrification, and the locals are saying that the foreign remote workers and retirees are driving up rent, watering down the culture, and pricing out citizens. And I think they are not only fighting the Americans, they are also fighting the Canadians. And I need someone to please, correct me in the comment section if I'm wrong. These videos are blowing up on TikTok and people are reacting to this situation. I just want us to please see these videos that I've put together, obviously from TikTok, and I'm going to show you some random comments. Some people are telling them to fight back and do to them what they did to the Mexicans in America. Check these videos out.
do you know how obnoxious you have to be to piss off the most hospitable people on the face of planet Earth? Right? A los ciudadanos del país de Mexico, right? To the point where they're like, afuera, gringa afuera. Like, we're done, right? We're done. Like, it's so crazy, right? Because I made some content about this a couple of months ago. I told y'all, right? The Mexicans were getting done, right? When folks were going to the restaurant, y pide la carta in inglés, and like, come on, like, learn Spanish, bro. It's not that hard to learn basic Spanish. And then driving up the rents, acting like you in the 51st state when you're in a completely different country. They had enough, man. They had enough, and I'm there for it. I hope all of these gringos, all of these fools get about 15,000 quiero llorars and get the hell out of there, man. Because again, they have really, really messed up the situation, or tried to mess up the situation, in one of the best countries in the world, which is Mexico. Much love, baby. Estoy aquí en la lucha contigo.
Did y'all know they over in Mexico tearing white people's asses up right now? If you don't believe me, you can go look it up. But the Mexicans that are in Mexico are literally coming after people who are claiming to be nomads. You know, all those boomers who have now retired and are looking for a cheaper place to live with their retirement. They decided to go to Mexico and try to gentrify Mexico. And they said, no, sir, no, ma'am. The Mexican people are going through their cities where they've built all these places of shops and restaurants, and they are breaking everything. They are blaming this boomer generation and these digital nomads for the reasons why the price of living is going up. They say that over the last 5 years, just rent alone has gone up 43% because of them. They said that because of them, they are now having to choose between groceries, rent, and electricity. And they didn't waste no time telling them, get the fuck out. They even said they was coming on their beaches telling them that their mariachi bands can't play their music. The nerve. That's a cultural thing that's been going on there forever. Why would you think you get to go to someone else's country and tell them what to do? There was even one of the protesters who was quoted stating, this is how colonialism works, and we're gonna put a stop to it before it ever even happens, honey. And they don't look like they're joking around, busting windows straight out, honey.
But seriously, make it make sense. Like, you want to tell them what to do in their country, but in your own country, you are telling them to speak your language. But then when you go over to their country, you do not want to speak or learn their language. You also want to tell them what to do and what not to do. We know. We know some of these things. Mhm.
Mexican citizens protested yesterday against gentrification in Mexico, against Americans, Canadians, anybody who is remote working in Mexico. thousands protest. There's even video if you search Mexican gentrification protests. They attacked American-looking people in restaurants, broke windows, like violence. They wanted to get at them. And it's because they're making Mexico expensive. And they're getting blamed for making Mexico expensive because they go around saying Mexico's cheap, come here. But by doing so, rents and everything else have gone up in Mexico, making it really hard for the citizens. I keep trying to explain that the economy there is on shaky ground. There is no work. The youth don't have work. And like you see here, eventually they hit a boiling point and they start to protest about it. And that's what's happening in Mexico right now. Super interesting to keep an eye on this. If I see more, I'll let you know.
Last year, I made a video about the gentrification in Mexico City, talking about how white folks were complaining about the spiciness of the food and how they've made it so uncomfortable for folks in Mexico that it has shape-shifted the culture in a negative way. They did the same thing in Sinaloa, complaining about the banda music, which is a cultural staple there. And while their country is actively and has been actively displacing Mexican people, kicking Mexican people out of the country, they thought they were going to sleep peacefully because they were a digital nomad or had they cushy American job with their US dollar. Give them hell, my Mexican brethren. It's always laughable to me that white Americans never think that they're gentrifying a place, but that their presence makes the place better versus worse. And in the conversation around the white Americans and the bulk of Americans that are indeed gentrifying Mexico City, people protesting you being there is not at all the same as immigrant folks, migrant folks being in the United States of America. Because let's start with the very real fact that when people immigrate into the United States, they do more with trying to assimilate, to be American, versus trying to make you assimilate into their culture. When the fun part about it is there is no such thing as quote unquote American culture, because the identity of the United States of America in and of itself is stolen. Everything from its food to its music to its people are bagged, borrowed, and stolen. I don't have any sympathy for people that have so much privilege that they can choose a place in which they're going to immigrate to live, be either hosted by their job or self-funded by their work, and also refuse to learn the language, eat the food, and complain about the overall cultural identity of the place when you can just, as I always say, stay your ass home.
It's gonna piss some people off, but I don't understand the outrage against gentrification. I'm in Mexico City right now and I'm seeing protests and people destroying businesses and windows. Are you that mad that the city's improving? Step back a little bit. I never understood flags to begin with, or borders, or why people cheer for their favorite soccer team when they were born just 100 kilometers or miles away from it. They would be cheering for another team altogether. It's missing a lot of objectivity. I'm in Mexico right now, and no, I'm not from here. So maybe that makes me part of the problem, but I think that it also makes me part of the solution. I pay more for coffee, I pay for rent, I buy stuff at local businesses, and these businesses, they themselves pay rent. And part of that rent goes to taxes, and part of those taxes goes to continue to improve the roads and the infrastructure that everyone is benefiting from. So I really don't get why destroying these places helps anyone. If I'm a walking paradox, so are you, because people complain about change, but they forget that they themselves are the result of change. They defend the present like they didn't displace the past. Let's take this city for example. Before it was Mexican, it was Spanish. Before it was Spanish, it was Aztec. Before it was Aztec, it was land, animals, trees, rivers, jungle. Before that, it was ocean. Before that, it was silence. My point is, I don't know if gentrification is bad. I don't believe it is. Maybe it's just the next version of what was always coming.
You need to temper your expectations, okay? Don't roll into Mexico with your Canadian thought process or your American thought process. It ain't Kansas anymore, okay? This is Mexico. It's its own country. It has its own culture. It has its own language. And if you don't come here and actually embrace it, you're pretty well pooched, okay? It's going to chew you up and it's going to spit you out. I've seen it happen before. You have to temper your expectations. You have to understand how things actually work here, how they don't work here, because a lot of things do not work the same way it works for you back home. And come here with a positive attitude, embracing everything that is Mexico, because if you're not, then why the heck are you even considering moving here, that would make no sense unless you really love the culture and want to become a part of Mexico.
Hoo-hoo-wee! You white boomers in Mexico, what's going on, man? You a little scared? Are you scared? I'd be scared if I was you. You better get your ass out of Mexico. Just saying. Keep on thinking that the Mexican people are gonna put up with your shit. You're in their territory. I would suggest you come back home to the good old United States of America. It's so good. Why'd you run away? Where did you go? Come back. They're gonna make you come back.
Mexico is not playing with the nomads. When I tell you they are protesting and they are going in those communities and they are tearing those bitches up, okay? The Mexicans are not playing when it comes to their land. And as I'm gonna say this, babe, as they should. Because you know what? These people went into their communities trying to gentrify the community and tell them that they can't play mariachi on the beach and they can't do this, they can't do that. Like, baby, who are you? Okay, that is their land, okay? So as they should, okay? Because that's exactly what y'all guys do. Y'all guys want to go to the lesser places and y'all guys want to build it up, and then y'all guys want to make the communities impossible to live in because they go up and the cost of living goes up and those people can't afford to be living the lives that y'all guys are trying to impose onto them. Also, who are you to think that you can go into somebody's land and take it and make it yours? Because y'all guys been doing that for years. Okay, y'all guys have this whole world to figure out, but y'all guys want to go there and mess with people's communities, which I think is messed up, okay? So as they should, I am on their side because that is their land. Y'all need to get the fuck up and get the fuck out, okay? Period poo. Clock that T.
Gentrification is colonization. Let's talk about it. Recently, there's been protests in Mexico City because of the amount of people from America that have brought over their money and started their own businesses, gentrifying, making everything more expensive in parts of Mexico. Now, of course, there's some people in the comments, like Americans, being like, oh yeah, I guess they also hate when immigrants come here and take their homes and jobs. That's not what gentrification is, Ted. Gentrification is when you bring money from your country into a different country, you raise up the prices of everything because you're buying top-notch houses, you're building businesses, you're trying to basically push people that have lived in that area out of there because you're making everything too fucking expensive. And at the same time, you're going around complaining about the locals and the culture, people being up too late, making noise near your new condo that you bought in your retirement in Mexico. And I think we're going to see more of this. We're going to see more people in Mexico fighting back, pushing back against people in America, whether they're well-intended or not, coming in and doing so. Because if you're going to go into another country, as you guys like to say, you got to assimilate, you got to learn the culture. But for some reason, Americans think that they're the exception. They could go to these places, make their own areas, and that's fine and that's normal. But if hardworking immigrants want to come to America, build jobs, do their own thing, just be a part of their own communities, literally away from you, then they're an issue. But Janice and her husband can come and move somewhere to Mexico because it's so cheap for retirement, and then complain that the restaurant near them that's been there for 3 generations is too loud at night and try to get them shut down. That's gentrification. Now, if Janice and her husband moved there and they understood that things have been around and people have been around there longer than they have, that's not a problem. But Janice and her husband going and try to lease everywhere, build these businesses, not include the actual local community and people, that's not good. Gentrification.
So beside me are some of the screenshots of comments I grabbed randomly so you guys can see what other people said. Please pause to read these comments if you want to. If you must live in our country, you must learn our language. You must learn how to speak English. Who said that? Y'all started this, right? I see no reason why you would move to another country and you do not want to learn their language, their culture, but you want them to learn yours, even as you are living in their own country. Make it make sense. Even to pronounce their name, you are struggling to do that, and you do not want to learn how to pronounce their names. But you get mad when they couldn't or can't pronounce your name. I'm tired. Someone said in the comment section that gentrification is colonization. Anyways, you guys, I thought to react to this. Let me know what you all think in the comment section. Again, people are telling them to do to them what they did to their people in America. I don't know. I'm just reacting to, the comments that I read. But like I asked, let me know what you all think in the comment section, guys. And thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video, share, comment, and of course, come back for another one. I'm gonna see y'all in my next video. Y'all have a lovely day. Bye.